Hello. I'll start off by saying, sorry, I'm like always sick. I'll start off by saying looks a little bit different than how I'd normally have it set up. I have it set up on multiple stuffed animals. I'm sitting in my bed. So I know this looks insane. If at any point this decides to fall over, one of the animals, I have 2 cats and a dog in my bed right now. So if any of this falls over and there's a cut in the video and I'm in a different location, that would be why. I thought I would paint my nails. I used to have long natural nails, like when I was in high school, but hold on. Sorry, I'm like still always some mystery illness that my child brings home from school, summer camp, wherever. We're always getting sick. I'm like pretty much over it. They were sick for like 8 or 9 days. I was sick for like 2.5 weeks. And then even today, like to this day, so that was like 3 weeks ago, 2.5 weeks I was sick. And going on a week now, I've had like the worst sinus pressure right here. It's not bad right now, but it's always worse in the mornings. Today was like, it passed pretty quickly, so that was nice. But I think I'm finally on the up and up, but it does like still cause, sorry to be gross, but like there's like a little bit of mucus drainage. So it still causes that a little bit, and it's kind of gross. So if you hear me if I have to cough or clear my throat, I do apologize. But anyways, I am a really bad nail biter and a nail picker, especially since becoming a mom. I used to do it when I was a little girl, and then I stopped when I was in like middle school and high school, and I had really nice, healthy long nails, and they're not unhealthy now, but I just pick and bite them so bad that I don't know what kind of damage it's done, but I mean, they're still, I have healthy nails, and they're not long by any means, but they are. Sorry, I have eczema, like really bad, just on this spot, on this finger, and that was a blister I popped. And then I was doing some like spring cleaning, and I like cut my hand on the corner of a shelf that we have down here. Annoying, but anyways, my oldest is back at summer camp this week, and my youngest, they've both been waking up so early. So he's taking a nice early nap. Let me check the time, actually. Okay, I still have an hour and a half before I have to go get my oldest from summer camp. And like I said, my youngest has been napping about an hour, pardon my grammatical error. So he will probably sleep until we have to go get his brother. I wish I would have brought some water down here with me. My mouth just feels dry. Also, sorry for the throat noises and the gurgles and the burps and everything. I always seem to film after I have lunch. And I had a huge bowl of homemade potato soup. So, many apologies if you hear all of that. Another thing that like this sinus thing causes is like it kind of dries me out. Also, my bedroom's in our basement, and it's just drier down here. Anyways, I'm sorry. I will try to stay in frame best I can, but like I said, my phone is just crazy. But I'm gonna go ahead and just paint my nails. And that's one thing that I found that helps me from stopping picking and biting at them, is if they're painted. I don't want all that stuff in my mouth, so I try my best to keep my nails painted now. But I figured we could just have a chit chat, catch up, just kind of talking about whatever. I, honest to God, don't remember anything I said in my last video, and I'm not the kind of person to go back and rewatch it. So I'll just tell you about stuff. Sorry, I'm shaking my fingernail polish. I'll try to tell you about stuff that I think I haven't told you before, but we'll see. I'm going to do a red. This is my base red. This is just an LA Colors red. I'm pretty sure I got this from Dollar Tree. And then I'm going to do sparkly on top of it. What brand is this? It's number 10. Oh my God, the lighting is so bad down here. It is a Broadway. Broadway Nails is the name of this. All I have plugged in are these like multicolored lights right here. I can't see it. And I don't have my glasses on or anything. And I don't need my glasses every single day. I probably should, but I don't necessarily need them every single day. I actually don't wear them most of the time, which probably shouldn't. But it's so dark down here. And then I just have my top coat, which I think is also from Dollar Tree. CV, whatever. I can't see it. So I guess where should we start? Where should we start? Where should we start? far back do I want to go? I guess I'll just go back to 2.5, 3 weeks ago ish. Something like that. My parents came to visit. So back in June, at the beginning of June, it was my son's 4th birthday, June 6th. And so we went to go see family, and we were back home for a couple days. That was like, oh my God, this is such a bad idea. I can't see anything. But we went back for a couple of days, celebrated, got to see my family. It was wonderful. They live 7 hours away, so it's not exactly easy going back to see them. Sorry, I apparently don't know how to talk anymore. I get nervous making these videos like I'm talking in front of a crowded room when it's just myself. And you would think that would make it easier, but it does not. I do better when I'm talking in front of a bunch of people versus just talking to myself. I don't know what it is. Sorry, you're just seeing a floating head. That's gotta be terrible. So then, yes, it's July now. It's the end of July. And they were here a couple weeks ago. I can't even remember now. They came to visit. My stepmom was flying to see one of her friends. I can't even remember what state it was in, but it was cheaper to drive all the way here and fly we live in the Kansas City area. We don't live in Kansas City, but of course I'm not going to say where exactly we live because that is a bad idea. But we live in the KC. If we were to use an airport, it would be the Kansas City International Airport because that is closest to where we live. And it is a lot cheaper to fly out from here than it is from 7 hours back home. So they drove up here, and my dad, this dude, he is 62, 3. I feel like an idiot. He was born in 1963. And it's 2026, so he's 63. He turned 63 in March. He has a smartphone and has had a smartphone for 15 years. Refuses to just type in an address and use Google Maps, any kind of GPS. He just won't do it. So, they got here at 4 o'clock on a Friday. And, she had to be at the airport at 3 in the morning. It was awful. So he's like, oh, are you coming with me to the airport? And I was like, do I need to? Do you want me to go with you, to keep you awake? He's like, no, I'm not going to have any trouble staying awake, but I just don't know how to get there. And I was like, I don't know how to fucking get there either. It's 45 minutes away from our house. I don't know how the hell to get there. And he's like, well, can't you pull it up on your phone? And I was like, well, yes, I can. But you could pull it up on your phone, or my stepmom was like, she could pull it up on her phone too. I will go with you if you want. Certainly I will, but do I need to? And he's like, well, no, you don't have to. And then, of course, I felt like I had to because I'm like, okay, no, I'll go and I'll navigate, right? And you're just on the highway for the most part. You just follow the signs and it says KCI Airport. It's pretty easy to get there, even without a GPS. He could have figured it out. But it was the middle of the night, and we didn't go to sleep until 10 or 11 p.m., which was stupid. So then I crawled my hind end out of bed, and we took her to the airport, drove back. We got back home at 4:30 in the morning. And then I was back up by a little bit before 7 because that's when my kids got up. And we have a pull-out couch downstairs and also a great big oversized chair with an ottoman that they could easily have slept in. But they're like, oh, we don't, because we have upstairs, there's 3 bedrooms, a bathroom, our little kitchen, and a living room. And then we have the sunroom that goes to the backyard. Then you go through the garage downstairs, and it's our utility and laundry room, another living room, what could be a bedroom, but we use it as an office, and then our bedroom, because you have to go through that other middle room to get to our bedroom, and then another bathroom. So I was like, you guys wouldn't be crowding us out, there's a whole room in between the living room downstairs and our bedroom. It's not a big deal. But Mr. and Mrs. Politeness are like, no, it's okay. We'll sleep up here. I'm like, okay, whatever. My dad also has a really bad back. My dad's 6'7", and he's broken his back 3 separate times. Had surgery, and back surgery is not, let's just say if you've never had it, you don't ever want to get it. If you can protect your back is all I'm saying, I could go into like a huge lengthy spiel about that. Just protect your back, be kind to your back. He also is a type 2 diabetic because he used to be a fat ass. When we were younger, I swear to God, we ate pizza 5 days a fucking week. No wonder I'm still fat. I was fat as a kid, now I'm fat as an adult. I have lost 25 pounds now, which is great. Anyways, I can't see how these are turning out, but I think it's going all right. I guess we'll see when I go into the light later how bad they are. But he just has like a hard time with stairs and stuff now. Like his legs and his back are shot. So anyways, I don't remember even what I was saying. Well, I think that's part of the reason he just likes to sleep upstairs. It's easier to get out of because we have 2 recliners and like a great big 4-seater couch in our living room upstairs. And it's just easier for him to kick out of a recliner than it is to get out of like a pull-out couch. So like I can understand it to an extent. But I told him, I was like, Dad, if you want to sleep in my bed, like me and my husband was like, we can sleep somewhere else, I don't care. Like I'll go sleep with one of our kids if it really comes down to it, and he can sleep on the couch. Anyways though, so we got her to the airport and she was with her friends for a week. I'm so glad she got to do that. She works really hard, and her friends used to live back home and then they moved states away and retired. She works for the school district. She's a teacher. And so was her friend until she retired. So she had a great time. I was so happy she got to go do that. And then, so anyways, that Saturday, my dad and I and our 2 kids, my husband had to work. So my dad and I and our 2 kids, we went to 3 different farmers markets and found some really good stuff. And then we went out to eat at this little pizza buffet. My dad is a pizza fanatic. That's probably why he has type 2 diabetes. So we went to this pizza buffet here, and it is super good. They don't have one. I'd never heard of it until we lived here. I think there's only 2 locations, and one's like here, and one's like 20 minutes down the highway. Super affordable and delicious. At Pizza Street, if you guys have ever heard of it. Delicious. I love Pizza Street. Super yummy. And our youngest can be a really picky eater sometimes, and he will tear up some Pizza Street. So I was very happy to go there for lunch. And they had like some good dessert pizzas, and the boys got some ice cream. It was a nice day. And then we went to this place called Merchant Square, and it's like I can describe it to you, but I also can't. There are a lot of stores just like it. It's kind of like an antique store, kind of like a thrift store, but I would verge on antique. And the people sell new stuff there too. Like it's kind of like people sell their crafts. It's not like just a big box store. There are like 500 different vendors, and each of them have like a designated space, but it's all in one building. It is super, super cool. My dad is able to come visit like 2 or 3 times a year, and at least once a year we walk through there and he finds some stuff that he really likes and takes it back home, and he's very smug and happy with his new treasures, and I love it. I think it's great. We walked around there. We actually he found a couple things he was like maybe on, but nothing he wanted for sure. So we actually didn't get any. We walked around for an hour and didn't get anything. And then we came home. My youngest was super tired. He was starting to get kind of pissy. So we only lived a couple blocks from there. So we came back to our house. He took a nap. My oldest, he doesn't nap anymore. He's 4 and he hasn't napped since he was like 2.5. And I try for a long time. I tried and he just doesn't do it. And he does just fall. Like he doesn't get the midday pissies. Like my youngest isn't even 3 yet. He'll be 3 at the very end of August. So almost, but not quite. But he's definitely still a napper. I think we put on like a movie or something for. Also, if this stops abruptly, I'm sorry. It's either because my phone died, the mic died, or the receiver died. I charged each one of them just a little bit. I have one charger down in our basement because all of our other ones have broken. Sucks. So if this ends abruptly, I will try to finish it at another time. So again, if the video looks different after a certain part, just something died or something fell. So anyways, we came home. I think we put on a movie for my oldest. My youngest nap. My dad and I, we just kind of chilled out. We were just so tired. We'd barely slept the night before. I had also made enchiladas for my dad and my stepmom when they came. I got like super into making enchiladas, and we had Mexican night like 3 nights a week at our house. They were super good. They enjoyed them very much, so I was very pleased with that. And then that night, I made chicken rice with garlic and onions, and I made like a garlic sauce. This garlic sauce is like the best stuff ever. It's you use as much garlic as you want. We are a garlic heavy family. I use minced garlic. You can do whole pieces of garlic if you want. It doesn't matter. But you want to use, so like cook your chicken, right? You cook your chicken like normal. We use cast iron pans. You can use any pan. I recommend getting a cast iron if you don't have one though. So we cook our chicken, make sure it's completely cooked. And then I do, and you can do more or less, just double the recipe or triple it or whatever you need to do. You do 1 cup of heavy cream, 1 cup of chicken broth, and then I do like quite a fair amount of garlic directly in the pan that you cooked your meat in. And you could do it with any meat. And then you turn the heat up not quite to boiling. So like I cook our meat between like 4 and 5 on like an 8-dial stove. So I turn it up to like 5.5. And then you mix everything together really good. You let it get kind of bubbly and then you turn it off. You could leave it on the burner. It doesn't matter, but you don't want to like boil it or anything. And then what I do is I put my chicken directly back in it. Let it kind of marinate for just a couple minutes. And then I put the rice on our plate, put the chicken on it, and then if you want some extra sauce, just get a ladle and sauce it out, and that's what we do. And it is super duper good. That is a crowd favorite. We have that at least once a week, if not more. It was super good. It's my first time my dad had ever had. I'd never made it for him before. I didn't know how to cook until like a year ago. So there's that. And then I had also made some cookies while they were here, and I'd made like multiple different desserts while they were here. I had made some pink lemonade. So that's what we did that evening. And then we also went to this department store called Gabe's. I love Gabe's. And I usually go in the morning. Like when I go shopping, I go early because it's easiest for me and the kids. And I always have at least one kid with me, not for long though. They're both going to school starting soon, so that's going to be great. But for at least 2 days a week. My youngest is going 2 days. My oldest is going 3. Sorry, my nails are wet, and also this eczema, like it kind of hurts to bend my finger just right. So, he didn't really find. He found again a couple maybes at Gabe's, but the line was super long, and he did not want to wait. So we left, which was fun, but we were only there for like 25 minutes, so like it was no big deal. And again, it's not very far from my house, so it was fine. They are messy as all get out. My pinky nail is like super long comparatively to the rest of my nails, but there they are. God, these kind of look terrible, don't they? Whatever, gets the job done. I also don't usually go for red unless it's on my toes. I just feel like red is too bold of a color. I like black, white, and like pastels. So let's see how long this sparkly red lasts. But anyways, yeah, and then we had supper that night. It was nice. And then the next day we had breakfast and lunch. And then he stopped an hour down the road to see one of my brothers because that's where he lives. And then he drove all the way back home. And then my husband's mom came, and I'm not even gonna... It was that same day. She came to have a tonsillectomy. Not that day, but she came to our house that day. I'm not even gonna tell the story because it gets my blood pressure up. But she came and went. And then it was that next weekend, that next Sunday, my stepmom got back from her trip. So my husband, because she got back, she was going to get back at like 4 a.m. And he gets up at that time a lot to go to work anyways, and he didn't have to work that day. So he was like, oh yeah, I'll just go up and get her. I'm like, okay, great. But her flight got delayed, so she ended up not getting here until like 8 or 8:30. But he still went to go pick her up, which was nice. And then we hung out that day. What did we do? I don't know if we even went. Oh, I had a job interview that day. I was thinking about getting back into the workforce because I'm tired of being poor. That's part of the reason. It was to help out the family. I had a job interview at Genesis Gym for an assistant manager. Did not get it. I was only ever in manager positions before I had kids. But my oldest is 4, and I stopped working when I was like less than halfway through my pregnancy. So it's been almost 5 years since I've had a job. Right? That's crazy. But I have like no sales. I have finance experience. I have food industry experience, and I have retail experience, but I don't have any like actual direct sales experience. And that I want to assume this is true. But he said that assistant manager is shifting into just solely like a sales manager. And I was like, well, there goes my shot. He was really nice. He said that he was going to keep my application in case a few different jobs opened up that he thought I would be better for. So I said, I appreciate you, man. I'm really just looking for a job that I can do where I can have, because at Genesis, they offer free childcare. And I have to have that. My kids are still too young, and I just don't, peace and love, I don't trust babysitters. And we don't have any family or friends here. Our closest family and friends are, 7 hours away. So it has to be somewhere where I can have the kids with me. That's it, Sorry, my hair looks kind of silly. I have bangs still, but they just look kind of dumb, and I can't really fix it because my nails are wet. Anyways, haven't heard anything back. I also texted the school director at my son's preschool. It's a small preschool. It's a private Christian preschool. There's only like 75 kids that go there. And because both my boys are going to be going there this upcoming school year, and that's currently where my son is also going to summer camp, and he was there for school last year, I texted her and I said, hey, because at the end of, I'm part of the parent board. I was like, I remember at the end, like it was the end of May, at the end of the school year, when you said that you guys may have like a position available because one of the pre-K teachers was retiring or leaving or something. And because it's a private school, you don't have to have like a bachelor's degree. They give you all the certifications that you would need to teach. Because at this age, it's still mostly like play, and I was not interested in that. I don't want to teach a whole bunch of other kids, So I had told her, I was like, if you guys haven't found, because she mentioned that she would do it if she has to. She is like the school director, but she also kind of floats around and helps wherever else she's needed. So I told her, I was like, well, I know you said that you mentioned you might do it if you guys haven't already found somebody. So like, if you guys haven't found somebody, if you guys need like a floater or a para or something for the school year, I would be more than happy to step in and do that. And she said, oh my gosh, I really appreciate you reaching out and letting me know. She's like, we did find a teacher, so I will still be able to float and be the parent stuff. So there was a no-go there, which was fine. I just thought I would kind of put a feeler out because I do really love that school. They are doing a wonderful job with our kids, and the teachers are amazing. I love being part of the PTA board. We do so much fun stuff for the kids throughout the year. It's just the best. I saw her today. So this was like 2 weeks ago. I had texted her. Maybe it's only been a week. I don't know. A little while. My son didn't have summer camp for 3 weeks. We kept most of July off because we were having family visiting. We were like doing a bunch of stuff around the house. And I also just wanted, he just turned 4, so we play outside. We have like an inflatable pool and a slip and slide and like a regular slide and a whole bunch of outdoor toys, scooters, bikes, kites, the whole thing. So I wanted to be able to just like have fun, throughout the summer with him. Let me tell you though, I was super ready for him to go back to summer. I love my boys, and he is just the sweetest, nicest little thing. But he loves school and he loves learning and he loves his friends. And it is nice to just kind of have a little bit of time to myself to be able to do stuff like this because I don't often get that. So he's there right now. But anyways, so I dropped him off in his classroom, and I was walking back out, and we have to pay for summer school, and we just pay per week that we attend. So I paid the school director, and I was like, have a good day. And she's like, I did want to, and this is going to sound like I'm boasting, and I almost hate saying positive things about myself because it makes it seem like I'm all hoity-toity, and I don't mean it like that. I only repeat it because it made me feel good that she'd said this, and I thought it was super kind. So don't think that I'm just trying to be all uppity a-holy, because I promise I'm not. But she'd stopped me and she said, I want you to know that I checked our budget 3 separate times to see if there was any way we could get you hired on here as part of the team, because you'd be a very valuable asset to us. She's like, unfortunately, we just don't have it is just a small Christian school attached to a church. They don't have a ton of money. And as far as like the private schools in this area go, it's like the cheapest one by far. So I know they don't have like a ton of money just to hire on a whole other person, but which is fine. I would like volunteer to do it for free, honestly, except that would be a lot of time I already volunteer for the parent board and stuff, so, I just told her, I was like, Charlotte, I really appreciate that. I'm, honestly a little surprised you checked into it that much for me. Like, it's very nice to know that you guys appreciate me, and, they do a lot of stuff for us. They're wonderful, and they treat the kids so good. So I just thought it was extremely sweet of her to say that. She said, if we ever have an opening anytime, you keep us in mind and we'll keep you in mind. And I said, Charlotte, well, I hate to say her name, but I said, if you guys ever have an opening, you call me and I will be here. Even after my kids aren't in school here anymore, I will still come to work here because our kids are going to public school after this. But the public school district that we're in is like one of the best in the state that we live in. So me and my husband are comfortable sending them to the public school. Like their preschool is here, and their elementary school they'll be going to is just here from where we live. It's like you go 2 minutes this way, and then next year he's going to be going 2 minutes that way. So that's kind of nice. Yeah, I just thought that was super great, and I'm looking forward to another fun year. We have, there's just so much fun stuff we did last year that I'm extremely excited to do it again this year. We had so much fun, and I have so many different ideas and stuff now. It was really great. Let's see, what else is new? I'm getting my kids into some speech therapy. Kind of long story short on that one. I asked our pediatrician for some referrals for some speech therapy, just because my kids they're talking, they're speaking, but my youngest especially just doesn't communicate super well. He just does a lot of screaming when he's tired, angry, frustrated, hungry. It's just a lot of screaming because he has a ton of words. It's just getting them out. My 4-year-old I thought was going to need speech therapy, but now I'm not so sure. Like he, especially within like the last month, he's had this happen a couple of times where it's just like a knowledge explosion and everything is like all the dots are connecting, and him and I are conversating now, and he can conversate with strangers. He almost doesn't need speech therapy at this point. My youngest, I would like to get him in there just because he is starting school, and I really like his teacher, and I hate for him to just explode and scream and stress the other kids out and stress his teacher out, because he can be, I love my babies very much, but that boy can be tough. He's got red hair, and everybody says, oh, that's what makes him ornery. And he's ornery, let me tell you. Sweet little boy. It can be a lot with him sometimes, and I would do it all over again in a heartbeat. I love my little guy, but that kid can be an asshole. But we were going to go through this private place that our pediatrician gave us a referral to, and it was going to cost $400 per child to get evaluated, and then it would be $100 a week for a session each week. And I was like, we are like, we're paying our bills right now, and some of them are late, and we don't have extra money for stuff like that. Things are crazy. This is a one-income household. We have an HSA, but we could afford the $100 a week. Like, we could do that, because like we won't have to pay for lawn care anymore. We got our mower fixed, so that's $160 a month that is going to be back in our pockets that we could then put towards something else if we needed it to, but the evaluation was really making us sweat. I was like, we had then decided, okay, well, we're not going to put our older son in speech therapy because we can't afford it. We also don't really think he would need it too much, but it was just, we were sweating. It was crazy. So when my stepmom was here, she's an educator. She made a couple of phone calls, found out exactly where we need to go. And at the end of August, they can go get a free evaluation at this education center near us. And sorry, I went from like whispering to soft spoken. I'm getting really into it now. And the evaluation is free for both of the kids, and they're doing like a full evaluating everything, including like their eyesight, their hearing. They're doing like a full everything to see exactly what areas they need help with the most. And then if they qualify for speech therapy, meaning like if they find areas where they do need some type of therapy, then that will also be free. And I was about to tell the dude I could kiss you on the mouth. Shouldn't say that because I am a married woman. But I thanked him profusely, and they said, we'll get a hold of you at the end of August, which is fine because we had the kids' appointment for the private speech therapy scheduled for the beginning of August. So if I have to wait another couple of weeks, whatever, I can live, So that was great. That was like a huge weight lifted off our shoulders. Let me tell you, that was like some of the best news we could have got. I could have kissed my stepmom on the mouth. Man, she hooked us up. She was great. So there's that. The kids start school not next month, but the following month. They don't start until September, the beginning of September, which is nice. So that'll be fun. I'm excited for them. It's my older son's second year of school. It's my youngest son's first year. So, and they're going to be going to the same place. So I'm just really excited. I'm sorry, my nails are still like so tacky and wet. Ugh, don't like that. So yeah, I'm just really excited for this upcoming year. Stuff that we do for like the PTA board, we do fundraisers. We did a lot of extra fundraising this year because at most your kid will be at this school for they have early learners, they have preschool, they have pre-K. I didn't know what early learners was until this year. So my son just went to preschool when he probably should have been in early learners. Our youngest now is going to be in early learners. He can skip preschool, which is what we're probably going to do. So I'm going to have one in early learners and one in pre-K, but I'll be at that school at least one more year. But most people are there for preschool and pre-K, and then they move on to kindergarten and stuff. So, a lot of the people on the parent board aren't, after a couple of years, all those people are kind of cycled out. There were people that were on the parent board this year whose kids were in pre-K and are now going to be in kindergarten and won't be there, this upcoming school year. Only a couple, which thank God, not thank God that they're gone, but thank God it was only a couple of people. Because some of the moms and dads that are there are they have the best ideas, and I see the way that they parent their kids, and I'm not saying this to be like, oh, I'm so young or anything, but a lot of these parents have 5 or 10 or 15 years on me. I was 20, I was 23, I turned 23 a month before my oldest was born, and then I was 24 when my youngest was born. I just turned 27 in April. And it kind of shocked me that most of these moms are in their mid 30s and 40s. And if you look at them, you wouldn't tell. I look older than they do. It's crazy. They look insane. But also I think once you get to kind of a certain age, you learn a lot more patience. And some of them, they're on their third or fourth kid. So this is not their first go around. Some of them, this is also their first child, but they're more mature than I am. So it is nice to see all these different people. And a lot of them are from around this area, and I'm not. So I wonder if that has anything to do with, I'm not from a big city or anything. I'm from actually a fairly small city. Well, like 30,000 people. And my husband's from a town of 3,000. So, yeah, anyway, now we live in a town of 160,000, and that's just where we live. That's not including the metro, millions. So, but anyways, yeah, we have a ton of fundraisers. We do a coffee cart. There's that, and some of the other events. We have a trunk or treat that's in the school. We have a school dance. We have a silent auction. They have a winter program, when they go up and sing songs. They also have one at the end of the year. There's a bunch of different stuff all throughout the year. We celebrate the teachers' birthdays. One of us will make them a dessert, and then somebody else will get them, or a couple of us will get them a gift card and a gift. And their favorite coffee, we just do a bunch of different stuff like that. So it's fun. And there's always something kind of going on, which is, I like to stay busy, and I'm going to have all this extra time now. My oldest will be in school 3 days a week, and my youngest will be in school 2 to 3 days. His school days are only 2 days, but if I want him to go a third day, it's another $20 per week. So we probably won't do it every week, but because together their monthly tuition is $365. Crazy, right? But every now and again, I think I'll probably put him in a third day as well. So I'll have quite a bit of time to do stuff. On one day, I could get the house top to bottom spick and span, spotless. I could do meal prepping for the week. I could get at least a couple of really good workouts in. We have a treadmill and an elliptical and some free weights in our garage. I could really go hard on those, on those couple of days. And then do like light stuff the other days. Like my kids and I really like to dance. It's still going to be warm outside. So, we're going to go outside and play in the pool still, probably by the time school is still starting. And then as it gets nice and cool in the air, we go for walks, and we like to go to the mall and walk around and all that stuff. So I think it's going to be really good for my health to kind of get back on track. And I will have a bunch of extra time to meal prep, and I will finally be able to sit down and take a breath. Like I'll have a couple of hours to do whatever I want to do. Like if I just want to go walk around to Gabe's, it's like my favorite place to shop. It's like so affordable. I love it. I've never been able to do that by myself. Or if I want to go walk around Target or Kohl's, or I'd say Walmart, but Walmart stresses me the fuck out. But I'll be able to just do that by myself. Like I could go get a coffee and just walk around these places. The only thing that would make it better is if I had like a friend or somebody to do it with, but nobody lives here, which is fine. Even just doing it by myself is lovely. So I'm very much kind of looking forward to that. If I have one day a week, like one morning a week, I can just walk around and relax. That would be a game changer, because it's been almost, it's been over 4 years since I've had my firstborn, and haven't been able to do that because we've never lived by family. I lived 2.5 hours away from home when I met my husband. We got married. We had our first. And then we lived in his hometown for only a couple of months, and I do not get along with his mom. But when he was 6 months old, we moved away to where we're at now anyways. So we've always been far away. And when I got pregnant and had my second, we had lived up here, so, and I'm used to it, that's my life. That's what it is right now. I don't have to work. I get to hang out with my kids. Some days it's stressful. Some days the kids are having bad days. And when they're having bad days, I'm having a bad day. And, we have 2 cats and 2 dogs. And there's a lot of stuff kind of going on all the time. And my husband does have to work a lot. So oftentimes it is just me. But I am just still so incredibly blessed and lucky that I get to be in the position where I'm in. My life could be a lot worse. I can't even think that my life could be better, because I do think I really have a great life right now. Anyways, it's going to be completely different. I will finally have some free time. That's just crazy. Like I can work out, and I can meal prep, and I could go just do whatever, So I think that's gonna be a lot of fun. I'm very much looking forward to it. This video is verging on 40 minutes already. I don't really think I have much else to say. Those were kind of like the big things that happened recently. My husband's birthday is 2 weeks away. I think it's exactly 2 weeks, actually. If I'm thinking today is the day I'm thinking it is. I already know he wants a chocolate sheet cake that his grandma used to make him. I've made it for him once before. It's kind of tough, but I'm making that for him. And then I told him, just let me know what he wants for his meal. We could go out to eat. I could cook him something. Kind of just depends on what he wants. And then he's so hard to shop for. Oh my God, he's so hard to shop for. So at least for now, I'm going to go get him like a birthday card and maybe like some of his favorite snacks and candies. And then I'll do like one big present. He likes things. He doesn't like just like stupid little piddly things, which I'm kind of with him. He like really wants to start woodworking. He's never done it before, but he just decided that that's the hobby that he wants to do. And he needs he needs a table saw and like one other thing. So I'm going to look around like Facebook Marketplace and see if I can't find him like an older, good working table saw. That's where we get like 90% of our stuff is like thrift stores and Facebook Marketplace and like, other like stores like that. Love it. Yeah, it's just tough. I think I need to get him a new wallet too. He hates his wallet, so maybe that'll be his small gift as a wallet. But yeah, and then 2 weeks after that, our youngest is going to turn 3. So we need to get him some stuff too. My oldest got so incredibly spoiled on his 4th birthday because we went back to see my parents. So, and my actual parents are divorced. So usually when I say my parents, I'm talking about my stepmom and my dad. And I stayed with them, but they got him presents. I have 2 brothers that live in town. They both got him a ton of stuff. And then my mother and stepfather, my other parents, also got him a ton of stuff on top of the stuff that we got him. Plus we stopped through my husband's hometown on the way to my hometown because it's just about in the middle, and we stop, stretch our legs, have lunch with his grandma, and his mom's usually there. And they got him birthday present. Like, that kid made out like a bandit. I don't think we're going to be able to make it back home for my youngest birthday just because school there will have already been in session for 2 weeks. And it's just such a long drive. It is such a long drive. But I do think that my parents, my dad and my stepmom, are going to come back up this way. And I mean, he'll get spoiled no matter what. So, he'll get some new school clothes from us and from my parents, and new toys, and they'll probably get him like a little backpack. My son, so my oldest son, we got him a backpack, and it came with a matching pencil case and a lunchbox. He uses the lunchbox for summer camp. Not once did he need the backpack. So actually, we probably won't get my youngest one because he's not going to freaking need it. But maybe we'll get him one, and he could use it in the future. That comes with like a little matching lunchbox or something. So yeah, it'll be fun. I love celebrating my kids' birthdays and decorating the house, and it's, I love my babies. I love celebrating them, and I love my husband, and I love celebrating him too. It's also his dog's birthday in like 4 or 5 days on August 3rd, whatever freaking day today is. His dog's birthday is August 3rd. That's also my brother. He has 3 kids. They all have the same birthday. They have an older son and 2 twin girls, and their birthday is all August 3rd, which is funny. I just put all their cards in the mail. That's a busy day. So, yeah, I think I'm going to go ahead and end the video there. If you hear that, my cat is right here. I'm just slapping his little fat tummy. But thank you guys for listening. This was a very nice chat. And I will see you in the next one. Bye-bye.